So I lost my virginity at 13, and I've pretty much had a girlfriend ever since then. Not one girlfriend, multiple girlfriends. I've always had a girlfriend. I've never not had a girlfriend. So
13.
Yeah,
that's young.
Ninth grade.
That's
ninth
young.
grade. I had a growth spurt from 8th grade to 9th grade.
How tall are you, by the way?
6'4".
6'4".
You're
You're a Chad.
I am.
You're a Chad.
Yeah, I get that. I get that a lot. But yeah, man, life's good in the dating world. But no, it still sucks. It still sucks. Women are awful sometimes. Most of the time. But I love them, so whatever.
Okay. So are you currently in a relationship?
Always.
You have how many girls are you seeing right now?
Like two and a half.
2.5.
2.5.
So one is oral.
Well, no, all right. Like one is like she hasn't been what's the word, like
She's
promoted.
not
She hasn't been promoted.
Not promoted.
Yeah, she hasn't been promoted to.
Oh, man.
She hasn't been promoted to like official girlfriend. She's not under my protection, if you will.
She's
Under your protection.
not been
She's
trained.
auditioning.
Yeah. She's
is
still
what you're
she's still on
saying.
probation. She's still on probation.
She's
There's
on
a probationary
period. What?
Yeah.
How long
90
is
days?
how long is the probationary period?
That's tough. I would say probation lasts. I don't know, man. I run a tight ship. You got like 3-4 months to like not fuck up. And then it's over.
Have you always dated multiple women, or would you say you've had periods of monogamy? Or
Well, I tried it when I was like 21, but I was like, man, I almost said the R word. This is ridiculous. Like, look, I got all this testosterone. Like, why would I do? Like, no guy anywhere works 40, 50, 60 hours a week to be like, oh, I just want to smash one girl forever. Like, I want her to come tell me to take out the trash. Like, no, that's stupid. So I'm not doing that.
No, you're supposed to do that by yourself.
What? Take out the trash?
Yeah, she shouldn't ask you to take out the trash.
She should do it, right?
No, men should do it. Actually, I had an ex of mine tell me
So
that.
you would be on probation.
you're on probation.
Yeah, you would be on probation.
I used to take
Probation.
out the trash. I used to take out the trash, and my ex told me that whenever he had somebody do that, like a woman do that, he didn't love her anymore. He like told me that, and we.
Well,
broke
that
up, like,
guy
a week
was
later.
weird.
But
You're
anyway.
dating a weirdo.
This is why I'm single. I can't.
I-
I'm mean to guys, unfortunately.
You're mean to guys?
Sometimes. It depends on my mood.
Explain that. How are you mean to men?
Well, the thing is, I'm not in my 20s anymore, so I've had experiences with different types of dating, even though I've always been in relationships. And then, it's like I was dating in Los Angeles, so I've seen a good amount of different species, okay, of
Species.
species.
I think that's illegal.
So you think you could be
That
mean
might
to me?
be illegal.
No, I mean,
Horses
I'm
or
not
dogs?
mean like, hey, F off or anything like that. It's just I don't have
Lizards?
patience.
Oh,
I don't
yeah.
have patience.
You gotta speak into the mic.
Patience.
Thank you for dropping your octaves a few there. Okay. So you don't have patience for men.
I don't have patience for boys, correct. Thank you.
So I have a theory that women that have never played organized sports, either gaming, we'll say band, their dad wasn't in their life. Oh, sorry, actually. That they make horrible girlfriends.
That weren't in organized sports.
Yeah, they have to be in organized sports. If their dad wasn't around, maybe band, like
What is-
a discipline of some sort.
I'm just interested to know what's the connection between having a dad and organized sports.
I'm
not even disagreeing. I just wanna
it's
know what's
because
your
of
parallel.
because of being in a relationship, you have to have patience and discipline. So if your dad wasn't around to discipline you, that's that. If you've never been in organized sports or a team, like
Okay.
you don't have patience.
Are you saying that moms are worse disciplinarians than dads? Like, is that your
Yes.
point?
Yes,
You think
absolutely.
so?
I know so.
But women are the people that are like actually rearing the children and have them majority of the time. I do think dads play a very important role, but I don't think
As
like
disciplinarians.
True, but they do more than that. Dads are also supposed to show their daughters how they're supposed to be loved and treated, and to like set their boundaries and all that kind of stuff as well. So I do agree with you that like a strong both paternal and maternal figure are important in self-development. But as far as like moms not being capable, my mom whooped my ass. So like
No.
my dad never spanked me ever.
I didn't say they
ever.
weren't
I was
capable.
like baby girl. So
I
it's
didn't say they weren't capable.
well,
I
you said they're
they-
worse at it, but it's like
Well,
my
yeah.
dad literally like would never ever spank me, and my mom, and I'm thankful for her. Like,
So why
to
do you
her
why do
for
you
it.
equate discipline to like violence and spankings?
It's not necessarily violence. We could go into the whole like the whole debate of whether it's like okay to like spank your kids and whatnot, but that's kind of a whole different topic.
But discipline is just rules.
Yeah, but obviously I'm using like spanking as a representation for discipline, not necessarily saying that's only the way to discipline your children.
I also think boys are more likely to be coddled by their moms, and like our mothers like will discipline us harder than they would their sons. Which is why it's also important for a man to or a male to have like a father in his life.
But overall, I agree with you. But I get the connection with team sports being like a team player. But I guess my question is, if you are asking these things of your women that are on probation, what do you provide to them in return as part of being, you know, captain of the team if you're being the leader?
What do I provide?
Yeah.
He's a 6'4" Chad.
Like,
Hello?
I mean,
Looks fade. People get hunches in their back.
Black don't crack. Right? Right?
It does not crack.
Does not crack. No crack. Zero crack.
What they get to be with me. I mean, you
Not
get
us.
you get
But like,
protection.
what do you offer?
Safety for one. I think that is one thing that is very undervalued in relationships is the safety you get. You essentially have a bodyguard when you go out into the world.
I mean,
you don't.
sorry.
No, go ahead.
I
go
don't
ahead.
completely agree with that because, like,
Well, it depends on who you date.
yeah, it depends on the person. Like, it's not every guy who's going to protect you that you're going to be with. And then you shouldn't be with that man if he
Right.
can't protect you.
Yeah.
Yeah. And also, before we move on to the subject, my dad passed away when I was 11, and I've never participated in any school sports or anything like that.
No, he didn't say that there was a correlation between having a father and participation in school sports.
No, I know
He
that,
said
yeah.
you were just listing.
He's listing things, but I'm saying, like, I don't meet both of those criteria.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Let me just do a couple things here. Guys, just since we shifted it, I just want to do a reminder on the super chats and donations. We've boosted the read trigger to 100. So read answer, the trigger to 100. TTS is now set to 200. I just want a smooth show. Last show is just a bit overwhelming with all the super chats, so I might lower it again. But just as you guys are kind of coming into the stream, I just want to let you guys know. So I just want to also, but with that, I will be able to get to the read ones faster. So Davon Jackson, thank you for the 100, man. Appreciate it. Stop being an asshole and answer the questions asked to you. You're not cool or clever or fighting for women's rights. You're just being a dickhead.
Who's that directed to me?
Who do you think that's directed to?
I don't even know.
I don't know.
I think it's related to the age thing. Probably you.
Oh.
Wait, what?
Oh, me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't fight for
that's
women's
good.
rights. I only fight for women's wrongs. That's all I'm here for, to be
What
honest.
are women's wrongs?
Anything wrong, I do not fight for
Being
anything.
promiscuous?
I don't fight for equality. I believe that it was so much better in the 70s when men went to war and when women just like sat in the house and got poems sent to them.
I'm not sure if you're being facetious or if
I
you're
am a little bit
facetious.
a
Okay.
little satirical, but
All right. That's wonderful. All right. Davon Jackson, thank you for the $100 soup chat. Stop staring at the chat. You look ridiculous. Pay attention to the conversation. Davon, thank you so much for the support, man. I want to give a big shout out and a heartfelt thank you to Davon, who's been one of our long-term supporters for months now before we even really started picking up steam. So Davon, thank you for your continued support week after week, month after month. I really appreciate you constantly supporting and being a patron of the show. Thank you, man. Okay, and we can, pull that one up while we have it. Yo, Scott Aragon, thank you for the 100, man. 85% of all youths in prison come from fatherless homes. Fathers keep their sons out of prisons and daughters off the stripper pole. Scott, that is profound and true.
Correlation does not imply causation. So first of all, show me the studies and then show me how they gathered that data.
It's the majority of men in prisons were raised in single mother households.
That's negating all the other environmental factors.
Sure, there's other factors. It's not a guarantee if you're raised by a single mother that you're going to become a criminal, but
I say that it's more likely if you use that statistic to kind of boost your argument, but that statistic in and of itself isn't a good argument.
What do you mean?
It's not a strong argument. It's one facet to a very complicated social
actually
structure.
one of the strongest predictors of criminality aside from socioeconomics is growing up in a one parent, or it's not even necessarily one parent household. It's growing up without a father. It's a major predictor.
It can, there are indicators and you can pull out these data points, of course. You can say if you wear a bra to bed, if 51% of women that wear a bra to bed get breast cancer, you can say wearing a bra to bed causes breast cancer. But you're not looking at, okay, what's the air quality like in that area? Why were those people placed in that area? What kind of policing is around that area that causes them to stay in that area more?
What kind of policing causes breast cancer, though? I think that they're...
What?
That's not what I'm saying. Yeah, not what I'm saying at all. But my point is,
going to be the dumbest thing that
regardless of the example, my point is that one data point, even if you can pull out data points and say, hey, this is more likely in this scenario, true, but that doesn't cause it, or correlation does not imply causation. There's a ton of other factors.
But you can, removing all the stats, and they have done studies on this, and they take quite a bit of biographical information from prisoners upon intake, and they've done studies on this. Removing all that, though, I think it's just almost common knowledge that it's better to grow up with two parents versus one.
I actually agree with you guys. And just because I might have a counterpoint and maybe a little devil's advocate doesn't mean I agree with the overall point that a two-parent household is better and creates more well-rounded people. However, it's just not it's not a strong argument, and it's an incorrect use of data.
But it's a fact. You can't disagree with a fact.
It's not a fact. It's just a data point. It's a fact. The data point in and of itself is a fact, but the conclusion that you're drawing from the data point isn't a fact. That's a hypothesis.
That's like saying all the people in all the NBA the percentage of NBA players that are black are 75%. That's a fact. You can't. It doesn't matter.
So it's more
But being black isn't the overall factor of why they're in the NBA, though. You see what I mean? Their height, their talent, their athletic ability.
Why is irrelevant?
I'm not saying it's irrelevant. I'm just saying I agree with the overall point. I'm just saying it's a poor argument to make to spend $100 to put on the show.
I am lost. I have no idea what you're talking about.
So do you think do you think the following statement is wrong? That I think the statement is essentially, do you disagree that the majority of people who are in prisons grew up without fathers? Do you disagree with that?
If that's what if you took a poll and that's what the numbers came up to, then I don't disagree with that. I would disagree with the statement that's saying they're in prison because they don't have fathers. That's my point.
No, that's not the argument.
That's not what we're saying.
That's what he said on there.
He said he
was using that information as a to strengthen the argument that he was trying to make, where he's trying to say that, if you're not on a team sport and if you don't have a dad, you're a bad girlfriend. That's literally what he said.
So doesn't
make you a bad girlfriend.
A double parent household makes it less likely for them to go to prison. I've met people who went to prison and whose fathers went to prison and whose fathers went to prison, and they're passing down a legacy torch of going to prison. So I don't know.
It's a generalization. Is all we're trying to say.
The exception does not make the rule. That's
correlation does not imply causation.
But we live in a world of generalization.
This is a great statistics class, but I think ultimately, like,
Yo, can you
back to
cut out?
dating.
Can you cut out the sarcasm? We
I'll-
don't need the attitude. Okay,
Let's just
so
get back to dating.
Why do you think I'm
getting
attituding?
Just-
This is literally my
too deep.
personality. Like, I promise you. If you think this is mean or rude, I'm not gonna sugarcoat myself.
just like, but okay, if we're talking about something, we don't need the extra.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, please
So,
talk about it.
can you pull that back up, Eric? So, fathers keep their sons out of prison and their daughters off the pole. Now, if you grow up without a father, it's not like your future is written in, like, you can still become a functioning member of society.
Absolutely.
It's not a guarantee that if you don't have a father, your life's going to be terrible and you can be a wonderful person. However, it helps to have a father.
I agree with that statement. My whole point, and we can get back to the dating show after this. My whole point is that is a poor example or a poor argument to say that, like, it's just picking one data point rather than like a whole inclusive like scope of what's actually going on that put people in prison and put girls on the pole. So it's like you're drawing a straight line when it's really a zigzag is all I'm saying. Like, and it's just like kind of, I don't want to say an ignorant statement, but it's just like an obtuse statement.
I
is all
also
I'm
was a
saying,
stripper.
because you know
I
we
put
have women
myself
here
on
that
the pole for exercise. Like I do pole fitness, and those classes are so expensive. So I give strippers so much credit because they are athletes. I'm sorry. If you've never climbed up on a pole, pulled yourself upside down, you don't know what working out is. Because that is
What? No one
like,
said
it's
strip.
crazy. Like, so like women.
Am I in a parallel universe?
No, we're talking about, women are putting themselves on a pole. Well, there are women that purposely want to go on the pole. The pole's fun as F, for whatever. However you want to do it. It's like, and my thought on not having a father, it's based on choices, okay, for the individual and education, honestly. Because, I've met people that did not have a good background. However, they made the choice to go a different route than the spiral, right? It's based on education, and it's not just like books. It's like getting the right information, because you could get information from a friend, like a real friend would tell you what's up. Like a bad friend would be like, yeah, go for it, when it's like, don't fucking, like, not really there looking out for you.
So
And that's just
you're saying a lot of words. It's a lot of word salad.
So you're just basically
But
saying
I
I'm
get what
just
you,
like
I think what you're saying is
smacking
the
my
why.
gums?
You're saying the why. The why is irrelevant.
What do you mean?
Like you're saying, you're talking about why these people are where
No,
they are.
I think
we're
she's-
just saying this is where they are. This is the numbers, and this is the
she's-
reality of the world.
It's choices. It's the individual's choice, and also there are
You
people.
do this 3 days a week.
2 days a week.
2 days a week.
I believe it's
you brag.
choices. It's not because they have a father and a mother, because sometimes kids are screwed up with both parents. I'm sorry.
Okay, we're gonna last thing, and then we're
Yeah,
gonna
last
move
thing.
on.
I think what she's just trying to say is that regardless of your environmental factors, no matter how much they may weigh on you, you still have individual agency and choice. Is what
Sure.
she's saying. She just said it with a bunch of different examples. So I hear you.
Yeah, I could come up with a bunch of different things, and I'm not just smacking my gums.
Okay,
Back to the dating show.
back to the dating show.